Alright guys, we're back. This is going to be the reassembly of the Glock 23 that we just broke down. We're going to start and just do kind of the reverse order that we did it. So the first thing we're going to do is put the trigger housing system back in there. So if you look, there's a spot in the back right here where the housing system is going to fit, and you just want to line up the trigger where it goes, and it's going to snap down in there really easy. You'll hear a click, and once you heard that click, you know that you've pressed it down far enough. Okay, and there's nothing really more to do for that. You can go ahead and add the pin back if you want. Like I said, I always like to arrange everything in the order and the in similar spots of where everything is going to go back into the pistol when it's being reconstructed, so you can quickly just grab things and remember where they go. So I'm going to go ahead and put that pin back in there. Tap it a little further. I like it to be pretty even on each side. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to do is start assembling the lock block and the slide stop. The first thing we're going to do is put in the the lock block. You can see where it lines up with the housings for the different pins. So it's really easy to tell how this goes in there. A real quick way to remember is that the little wings right here at the top point in the direction that a round would be fired. Place this one in first before you do the slide stop, because when you place it in there, you can see right where this the slide stop is going to fit in, and you can get this little top of this wire right here to fit underneath it where it goes. So you're going to slide that right in there, and it's going to sit where it needs to go. This is going to be loose and is not going to stay in place until that trigger pin is placed back in there. And you'll want to move this back and forth until you can see it line up in there perfectly, because if it's too far back, there will be an obstruction for the firing pin from the trigger pin going in there. Alright, like I said, keep these in the order that they go. If you do happen to forget, they are different sizes and so are the holes, so it's fairly easy to figure out. But like I said, for the ability to be able to quickly grab it and remember and to make sure you don't do any screw ups, I just place it in the order that it's going to go, so one above the other. So next thing we're going to do is put the trigger pin in. You're going to place it in there, set it on top of your tape, and carefully and slowly hammer it in. Catch in two places. Then you just want to make sure that it's even on both sides. One thing to watch out for when you're doing this is always make sure that that wire stays firmly against the left side of the receiver walls. Take this pin, the locking block pin, and you're going to place it in there. Slowly hammer it in place. And then again, I like to check to see and make sure that wire, sometimes that wire will be pushed out by that pin sliding in. There might even be a different order of putting these pins in, so that doesn't happen. That's just the order I do it in, and as long as you check and make sure that wire is right there, everything should be fine. There shouldn't be any problems. Alright, so now that the receiver is done, we're going to move on to the next part. I'm going to go ahead and do the construction of the firing pin and the spacer sleeve. And we're going to do a trick that we used in the first video if you were watching. What you're going to do is you're going to take the firing pin and you're going to put it in the spacer sleeve. You're going to put it in the only direction that would make sense, so that that little notch right there slides down the channel and will stop it. Okay. The next thing you're going to do is put the spring over the top of it, and we're going to put the slide on its end, and we're going to use this little channel right here to help us, because these couplings, these little cups right here, are not connected by anything other than the tension of the spring. And so it takes more than one hand unless you use this little trick right here. Okay, so what you're going to do is turn the firing pin upside down. So instead of going this way, we're going to place it this way, and then we're going to turn it to the side so that lever blocks it, so that when you decompress the spring, see how it gives you room to place the cups on there? If you turn it this way and you try that, you won't really get a lot of space, okay, because it will go down the channel. So turn it to the side, and then you're going to be good to go. Have these cups in the really quickly and accessible and easy to grab, because this can be kind of frustrating, especially if you've been doing some lubrication and your hands are greasy. They can slip and stuff like that. But all you're going to do is decompress the spring, slide the cup on, and then use your back finger there to hold it in place as you grab the other one, and slide it into position 2, and then let the spring start compressing against it, and it will hold it in place. Just make sure that they're pushed together, and now you've constructed your firing pin system and housing system back together, and it's good to go. Okay. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and place the extractor decompressor plunger in. You're going to do the metal down first, and then you can put the firing pin system in here. Take the safety pin and put it spring down. So you're going to take the spring and you're going to place it in this hole right there, and then you're going to take the extractor. This is the side that catches the back of the cartridge, and this little circle here is going to fit in right there, and you can see where that hole goes, so you'll know which way this is supposed to go. And all you have to do is press the safety pin up, and as you notice, when you press the safety pin up, there's a little notch in there in the safety pin where it's going to catch. So basically what's happening inside of there is when you lift it up, it gives it a place for this to slide, and then it locks together. Okay, so you're gonna press that up and then fit the extractor inside there, and then it will lock in place. Okay, next thing we're going to do is put the back plate on. So make sure that you push both of these down. Take the back slide plate, and you're going to put it right in the groove, ready to go, and get your thumb there. Alright, take your Glock tool, and what you're going to do is decompress the back of the spacer sleeve first and push the back plate above it so that it locks in place, and frees up your hand to move to the next thing. So now that's going to stay there. The next thing you need to do is press the extractor decompressor, or the extractor depressor plunger down so that the back slide plate can slide all the way into place. And now your slide is completely put together. One good check I like to do, especially if you have some aftermarket sights, like I have the True Glow night sights, I always make sure that my sight is tight, especially since I put this in my KPOS system right here. Your Glock will fit inside of there and allow you to fire from the shoulder, but inside of there, if you're not careful, things are getting banged around, and sometimes some things can come loose. It's not very often, but it does happen, and so I like to check and make sure that that front side is tight. The next step you're going to do is you're going to, if you can, lube the barrel. I've already done that, but since I've had it set down, I am going to take one of these rim oil wipes and just wipe it down a little bit, wipe down the inside of the slide. What you're going to do is place it this direction into your slide, and it's going to sit there on top, and then you're going to take your guide rod, place it in here first, and then all you need to do is decompress it. And there's two little notches there, so you want to make sure that it doesn't land on that first notch. You want to go all the way down to the second notch, and you can tell it'll be secure in there once you've done that. Okay. The last step, take the slide, place it on the receiver, line it up, run it all the way back until it cocks. Run it a few times, dry fire it, make sure that it is working, that you didn't do anything wrong. And you have now reassembled your Glock. The last thing that I would do is, because usually your hand gets a little greasy and so does the Glock, I would make sure that there isn't any excessive lube running out anywhere. One of the biggest mistakes people make is over lubing their Glock, and you'll start seeing stuff pouring out the different spots. If you notice that, don't just wipe it away. Get in there and clean it up and make sure that you only leave light applications all over the place. But for the the little residue all over the top of the gun from just like your fingerprints, go ahead and wipe that down, and you'll be good to go. Thanks.